Good morning. It is Friday, our favorite day of the week, March 16th, and welcome to Studio 365, powered by TableThink. My name is Joshua, and I'm here in the studio with Pastor Kerrie Palmer, who studies life and tells the story of how to live the best life, and we are so glad that you are with us for Studio 365 to kick off your day.
Joshua, I love Fridays.
It is a very, very good day, and if you do not love Fridays, then something's not right with you.
And we'll try to help.
And we will try to help you. So this month's fun fact focus is on food, and that had a lot of words to try to say there. And it is actually National Artichoke Hearts Day.
What?
And somebody I think was really cruel to me at some point, and they told me that artichoke hearts were chicken hearts. So I always avoided them, and it was only in my adult life that I literally learned that it was not a chicken heart. So out of my fear, today I just brought you a glazed donut.
Oh, I'm so glad for your fear.
Yes.
Thank you, because you know what? A donut goes much better with coffee than an artichoke.
There you go.
I know. So I'm all about being positive.
That's right.
So I'm positive this is the
Yes.
right thing. So, all right, Studio 365 salutes.
Artichoke growers and donut bakers.
Okay, so here's the basics. We are starting with the word start for March. And we're talking about starting something new and anticipating what's going to happen because we've started. So here's the thing. To anticipate is to be aware, Joshua. Are you aware that there's more to come when we've started this thing?
I am.
I mean, think about it, that
Yeah.
Studio 365 has only just begun. We've
Right.
just started
It's
it.
just a little baby.
Yeah, and it's when it becomes a toddler, it'll be so cute. But it's just going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And even as we start, though, there's always a waiting period, and that's really what anticipation is that we have to wait and see what's going to happen.
Right.
And that's where I kind of get messed up, and I can start dreading. And so what I've had to learn is that anticipation requires trust. Are you kind of with me on that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not always easy because trust is kind of hard to do because
Right.
you have to wait for the results. You have to wait for more to come, and you have to believe that there's that kind of not yet. We're in the now, but
Right.
we have the not yet. So here we are, and we know that we've just started. And so in doing that, what is kind of the thing that you anticipate the most with Studio 365?
I guess getting up early, setting lots of alarms.
Wow, are you just like tired then with all those alarms?
Maybe just a little bit.
Okay. And are you dreading getting up or fearing that you won't get up?
It's more of a fear that I won't get up and that something will go wrong, or we'll broadcast something from yesterday instead of today. Who knows?
Yeah. So just for you to know, I anticipate this time so much that I just wake up without the alarm, and I need to be able to sleep a little longer.
Yeah.
So we've got some things to work on. So one of the things about anticipating is that to understand it's kind of we're in between. And that's really where we're at with Studio 365. We're in between about what was
Right.
and what will be, and then the past and the future, and the known and unknown. But one of the things, Joshua, that I have found in my life is that when I'm willing to wait and trust, when I choose to anticipate, I actually draw closer to God. And I'm sure you found that along the way, that when you choose to anticipate, you find yourself closer to God. Have you found that out?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So, we've been talking about, do you know who we've been talking about? Do you remember that?
I do remember
sleep
that.
Deprived.
Yes, Joshua.
That's right. The ancient leader,
Yes.
Joshua. And, after 40 years of wandering, here he was. He was the one that said, we've got to get going. We've got to start. We're all 40 years older. Here he was. And so they made this huge journey, and with all these people across the flooding waters of the Jordan River. It tells us they were in the season of that, and they had just crossed over. They had not entered into the land that they were to own, but they had just crossed over to a place called Gilgal. And they just stop, and they're so excited and anticipating what more was there for them. And so it would just be cool if you would read those two places from Joshua's book, chapter 4 and 5.
Sure. Yeah. It says, now the people came up from Jordan on the 10th of the first month and camped at Gilgal on the eastern edge of Jericho. And then the other scripture from Joshua 5 says, they remained in their places in the camp until they were healed.
So I love that. I've just been sitting here thinking about the fact that so many times when I am with hopeless people, they don't anticipate anymore. So really anticipation is part of our hope. And one of my goals as a pastor is to speak life into them and help them to get back onto that track of hope. And these people had wandered for 40 years without having any hope. They had not learned how to anticipate. And so that's a key element for starting, is to anticipate and to allow hope to come in, even when you don't know what's the unknown of what's going to happen. So are you ready?
Yes. Let's hear today's life list.
Okay. So number 1, anticipate what is to come after you start. Number 2, spend some time anticipating the more of the not yet. And number 3, and I think this is so important, find the Gilgal of your start. That's hard to say, the Gilgal. But it's really what it means is find a place that you can have healing, because that's when you know you start to have healing is when you have hope and you're anticipating the promise of what can be. And number 4, refresh your anticipation. So Joshua, I'll talk to you and our friends tomorrow in Studio 365.
Yes, and what a great life list. And hey, if you are enjoying this podcast, I don't know how you found it. Someone could have sent it to you in a link, or you could have found it on our website. But make sure that you subscribe to it so that you can receive it every day. So we are in the iTunes store, we're in the Podbean store, we're coming to many other places, but most of those will just have a place that you can just click to subscribe, and that means that every day you're going to get this podcast. So we look forward to starting the day with you tomorrow at Studio 365.